Imagine a world, not too different from ours, but 100 years into the future. Humanity had reached the stars. Our cities scraped the sky, gleaming towers of chrome and glass that pierced the clouds. We had cured diseases, automated labor, and connected our minds to a global network of information. We were masters of our own destiny, or so we thought. We saw ourselves as gods, molding the planet to our will. But for every gleaming skyscraper we built, a forest fell. For every river we diverted, for our megacities, a species vanished. The earth itself was groaning under the weight of our ambition, but we were too busy, too self-absorbed, to listen. The warnings were there, clear as day. Scientists, activists, the few who still remembered how to listen to the planet, they all pleaded with us. They presented data, charts showing rising sea levels, graphs depicting collapsing ecosystems. They spoke of a tipping point, a point of no return, but we dismissed them. We called them alarmists, Luddites, enemies of progress. Our leaders, blinded by short-term gains and corporate interests, assured us that technology would solve everything. We had an app for that, a drone for this, a solution for everything except our own hubris. We believed our own hype, convinced that we were invincible. We were so wrong. The first sign that something was truly amiss wasn't a scientific report, it was a tremor. Not an earthquake, but something deeper, something ancient. It started in the deepest trenches of the Pacific Ocean. Seismographs went wild, detecting a rhythmic, almost biological pulse emanating from the planet's core. Then, the seas began to boil. A colossal form rose from the depths, a creature of myth and legend. It was a being of rock and magma, coral and ancient kelp forests fused into a single, mountainous body. We called it the Earth's Titan. Its eyes were molten gold, burning with an age-old fury. It was the planet's immune system, finally activated. The Titan didn't just walk, it reshaped the very land it crossed. With every step, coastlines crumbled and new mountains were born. It strode towards our proudest coastal megacity, a place we once called the jewel of civilization. Our most advanced weapons, laser cannons, plasma rifles, hypersonic missiles, were like pebbles thrown against a mountain. They bounced off its craggy hide, leaving not even a scratch. The Titan raised a hand the size of a city block and brought it down. In a single, deafening crash, a century of progress was reduced to dust and rubble. The message was clear. Our reign was over. But the Earth's wrath wasn't limited to the seas. As the Titan laid waste to our coastlines, something else began to stir in the heart of the world's most polluted, desolate wastelands. From the cracks in the dry, poisoned earth, a low hum began to vibrate. It grew into a deafening buzz, a sound that rattled the teeth and shook the soul. Then, the ground broke open, and from the chasm emerged the swarm. It was a single, collective consciousness comprised of billions upon billions of insect-like creatures. They moved as one, a shimmering, chittering cloud of black chitin and razor-sharp wings that blotted out the sun. The swarm was nature's fury made manifest. They descended upon our inland cities, our agricultural centers, the very places we used to feed our sprawling populations. They didn't just destroy, they consumed. They devoured our genetically modified crops, stripped our buildings down to their metal skeletons, and turned our concrete jungles back into raw, organic matter. They were a force of reclamation, a plague designed to erase the scars of our industrial age. Our drones were swatted from the sky, our automated defenses overwhelmed by sheer numbers. The sky turned black, and the only sound was the terrifying buzz of a billion wings. Panic gripped humanity. Our global network, once our greatest achievement, became our greatest source of terror. Screens everywhere showed the same apocalyptic images, the Titan leveling cities on one side of the world, the swarm devouring them on the other. Our leaders, the same ones who had assured us of our invincibility, were either dead, in hiding, or broadcasting desperate, useless pleas from underground bunkers. The arrogance was gone, replaced by a primal fear we hadn't felt in centuries. We were no longer masters of the planet. We were prey. For weeks, the assault continued. The great monuments to our civilization fell one by one. New York, Tokyo, London, all silenced. We fled the cities, abandoning the technology we had worshipped. We hid in caves, in forests, in the forgotten places of the world, living like our earliest ancestors. Stripped of our pride and our power, we finally understood. We looked up at the sky, now choked with ash and the dust of our fallen world, and we did the one thing we had never done before. We begged for mercy. Not to any god, but to the planet itself. We wept. We cried out, admitting our fault, our greed, our catastrophic blindness. And then, something incredible happened. The planet listened. The Earth Titan, standing amidst the ruins of what was once Paris, ceased its advance. Its molten eyes cooled, the fury replaced by a deep, ancient sadness. The swarm, which had been about to descend on the last remaining human enclaves, halted its flight. The deafening buzz quieted to a low hum, and the cloud of creatures hovered in the sky, silent and watchful. The attack was over. The monsters, the agents of our destruction, had paused. In the silence that followed, a new world began to take shape. The Titan and the swarm did not vanish. They became silent guardians, ever-present reminders of our fall from grace. The Titan settled in the middle of a vast new ocean, its body becoming a new continent teeming with life. The swarm retreated to the deserts, their presence ensuring that the wastelands would remain wild and untamed. They were colossal, silent sentinels, ensuring we would never forget our lesson. Humanity emerged from the ruins, humbled and transformed. We didn't rebuild the gleaming towers or the sprawling megacities. Instead, we built smaller communities, nestled in harmony with the world around us. We learned to live with the earth, not on it. We used our knowledge not for domination, but for sustainability. We cultivated real gardens, listened to the wind, and respected the life that pulsed around us. We were fewer in number, and our lives were simpler, but we were more connected than ever before. We had been given a second chance, a chance to be caretakers instead of conquerors. And under the watchful gaze of the silent monsters, we finally started to get it right. Thanks for watching. If this story made you think, consider subscribing for more tallies from possible futures.